Breaking news: Finland is prepared to deter Russian aggression. Regardless of the outcome of the Ukraine conflict, the Kremlin faces complex military problems along the new NATO border with Finland, the sort of problems that should discourage further Kremlin adventurism. On March 27, the Parliament of Hungary overwhelmingly approved Finland's application to join NATO. In May of 2022, former Cold War neutrals Finland and Sweden submitted membership applications to NATO. The 30 current members of NATO must all agree to accept a new member. Finland got 29 points from Hungary. The alliance is waiting for a decision from Turkey. Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, the president of Turkey, who is thin-skinned and deliberately contrary, announced on March 17 that Parliament had decided to initiate the ratification of Finland's accession process to NATO. The Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament endorsed Finland a week later. Approval in its final form is anticipated in time for the May 14 national elections in Turkey. To be clear, Erdogan's opposition to Sweden's application remains unchanged. Many people, including myself, believe that Erdogan is making a show of himself. Finland and Sweden's addition to NATO will strengthen the organization's ability to protect the European Union and the Arctic. A briefing on Nordic defense was given to me in 2004, and it included a discussion of air defense operations by Denmark and Norway from the Baltic to the Arctic. The briefer added some historical context, saying that during the Cold War, with NATO's blessing, Denmark shared air surveillance information with Sweden and Finland. The Swedes and Finns were reciprocal in their aid. That information was not widely known in 2004. The two so-called neutral countries joined both NATO and the European Union's Partnership for Peace program in 1994-1995. Finland and Sweden were on high alert after Russia's invasion and annexation of Crimea in 2014 and the Kremlin's subsequent hybrid war in eastern Ukraine. Public opinion shifted drastically in both countries, including Sweden's virtue-signaling socialists. The full-scale invasion by Russia in February 2022 prompted these countries to apply to join NATO. Vladimir Putin has suffered a major diplomatic defeat as a result of their bids. Instead of being intimidated, smaller European countries made the decision to protect their value of freedom by seeking membership in the most effective military alliance in history. My 2004 briefing paper argued that despite what their governments claimed and how much the left-leaning media in both countries criticized the United States, Finland and Sweden were never truly neutral countries. Both countries' armed forces were well prepared to face off against Russia, their common foe. Regardless of the outcome of the Ukraine war, Finland will remain committed to defending its 1,340-kilometer, 832-mile, border with Russia, which is now a NATO border and presents the Kremlin with very complicated military problems. The border saw two bloody wars in the middle of the 20th century. During the Winter War, Russia fought under the banner of the Soviet Union and invaded Finland, occupying Finnish territory, 1939–40. In the Continuation War, 1941–44, Finland fought to regain territory lost to Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union, but ultimately succumbed to Russian superiority. Petsamo, Finland's Arctic seaport, was destroyed. Despite this, the Soviets suffered heavy casualties and equipment losses at the hands of the Finnish. They set up barricades, cornered Russian units in Arctic forests and swamps, and destroyed tanks one by one. The Finnish ski army gained international fame. Finland's military strategy after World War II centered on making Russia think twice about an invasion. Finland's national will to resist is the country's greatest strength. Its constitution mandates that all residents assist in defending the country. About 19,000 soldiers, airmen, and sailors, plus 3,000 paramilitary border guards, make up Finland's active forces. Finland has a population of 5.5 million, but during wartime it raises a total of 280,000 soldiers and 870,000 armed reservists. The troops are backed up by artillery. It wasn't until the late 1980s that I learned of Finland's fascination with artillery. Finland had over 1,500 pieces of artillery in 2022. tube and rocket. Indeed, many are installed in moving vehicles. The strategy entails firing shots while constantly evading enemy fire. Battlefield Finland has established defensive zones, with concealed strong points and supply points stockpiling weapons, ammo, food, medicine, and fuel to protect ground forces from aerial attack. The areas can supply both civilians and mobile infantry and armored groups. According to reports, 2,000 drones are being ordered to serve as both artillery spotters and attack aircraft. A lesson from Ukraine. Finland has a small but effective air force and is investing in American F-35 stealth fighters to expand its capabilities. The F-35s have the ability to locate targets anywhere within Russia. Vladimir Putin only has himself to blame.